Oh, what's up guys? So you're looking at the screen in front of you is Wizardry, Knights of Diamonds, the second scenario. It's actually the second game for the series for Nintendo, L3. The third game is actually fan translated, but this particular version, well, it's kind of like the first game that I did a while back. Actually, there's really not much difference because pretty much 95% of the game is pretty much like the first game, other than a few, of course the maze is different, a few monsters are different, and well, twice as many items to find is the first game. So let's get rid of this little box art and start with the game. Now, if you've seen the first game, this particular screen in front of you is pretty much a duplicate. So, of course, Community Taverns where you meet people, you can move people, and so forth. Adventure is where you rest. And Baltic Train Post is where you sell and buy equipment. Temple Chance where you raise people, hopefully be raised, otherwise they'll be ashed and gone. And of course, Edge of Town is where you, pretty much if you want to quit the game or fetch up in the maze. So you probably noticed in front of you that I do have my 6 characters. It probably took about 20-30 minutes just to get the right ones. I'll let you know that I'm not going to use any code whatsoever in this game here, now that they're pretty much non-existent. I do believe there's a some kind of gold code, but of course, getting the best items in the game you have to be found, and there's not much items there to buy, especially for the mages. All they can equip is robes, so you don't want to equip any weapons because any items you find in the game are vast superior. So let's do this. So this little clip here is showing you a battle on the first floor. So I found a treasure chest while fighting the kobolds, and Taz is pretty much my thief. And let's see, can't. Also, you did do 2 exploding box. So during the morning run here, I'm going to use save states here because in the course if you play the original game, there is no save states, wink wink, but the game pretty much saves every time that you defeat a person here. I kind of abused that when I had the game, at least the first Wizardry game here. So slimy things, so pretty much the enemies in the first floor are pretty much easy. They don't really inflict any ailments, however those chests there do. And we find a traveler's chest there. I find on the first floor, especially in this particular version, that they don't drop much any items, not as often as Wizardry 1. So the base is typically not bad the first round, pretty much you get the feel. The game is pretty much harder than Wizardry 1, I found. And you fight hippopotamus there. So the people in my party here, I'm just going to give it a rough overclass. The first one, Dwight, is a good fighter. Alignment does. The only difference much in this particular game is some stairs there. I'm just going to for now. I was about to say here, my first character, my good fighter, is actually a dwarven fighter. It's actually one of the best classes for fighters. They have the high hit points as well as strength. I think it goes to the 24 and 25. My next one, Pain, is a neutral fighter. It's a human fighter. I just made some difference in the game, or just pretty much mixed it up. The alignments, the only major difference I found in this particular game, or at least the last 2 Wizardry games, is that there's certain items you can equip that only takes to the alignment. For example, you can get a neutral plate. There's a class called Lord. You can only equip Lord items, so forth. So the third, of course, is Taz. He is my thief. I find that this particular version can equip better swords than the first one, but I put him in the back row anyway. My fourth is Gold, of course. She or he is my cleric. It's a gnome cleric. I could have gone with a dwarven cleric, but I want this particular good cleric to be more magical than fighting, but I definitely find to be more fighting based than casting based, at least in this particular version. So I believe he got, or she got, the mace, anointed flail, which actually does a little bit more damage. My other 2 fighters equip long swords, and Tass, of course, equips a short sword. Rast, my good magician, is actually my magic user. I said earlier in the video that he's not equipping any weapons. At least I don't think so. I can remember. You don't want your mages to fight. He creeps slowly. My caster, cast Katino, K-T-I-N-O, and go upstairs and just rest there. Very important to have a cleric in the party. Very, very important, not just for healing, but also Sometimes casting light, but not necessarily in the later runs. There's also defense abilities. They're useful. You can cast card attacks, that's spelled BADI or Mad Dabby, for more success rate, among other things. Very important to have a mage in class. You're going to find later on why I'm going to have a mage in class for teleportation abilities. And of course, Ike is my wizard. That's a pretty mix of clerical and mage abilities. And there's Dink, good XP. And of course, he ran away. As been said before, the wizard not only has slow leveling up, it does cast clerical and mage abilities, but also can identify items that you find during the course of the run. But you have to be careful if you do identify runs that you don't get cursed. There's a lot of cursed items in this game. It's pretty much usually for selling. And not only that, the wizard can actually equip better items than my mage there. I believe you can equip leather type items. I believe you can keep treated leather. You'll find out during the course of the run. So yeah, so let me see. There's something on your feet. So what I just did there, I pretty much collected an important item that allows me to go through this course of level 1. And like the first wizardry, you have to collect certain items, and you have to do one after another. You have to do them in order to get this item and that item and that item in order. In this case, it's keys. I believe there might be a statue I picked up. I can't say for sure. It doesn't really matter. So this, so the game, of course, the first game, Wizardry, you have to defeat a magician. However, in this game here, you have to collect certain items. In this case, it would be armor and a sword set. And you have to go to level 6, I believe, and you have to show them to a Sphinx type character. You have to make sure you have them or equip them. And once you do, you'll be teleported to a certain person, and then pretty much you complete the game. So there's actually no final boss. However, to get these specific items, you have to fight them because they're magical based, and they will hit you hard. So I believe the game wants you to go all the way down. You can go all the way down in this game here, not the last one, but the second last level. There's no doors, and there's certain spots where you have to fight where you fight monsters, and those particular spots drop chests. And this particular version, oh yeah, you can spell this game here. What was I about to say? Yes. Okay, so specific items, specific spots, especially doors in this game here, monsters guard, chests, and to upgrade your items, which is needed, you have to defeat them, and it's all random. It could be any item that's specific of what item drops on a specific floor. So here I got 11 gold pieces for each character that is living. And you probably notice that the maze layout is different. You can actually change the layout instead of being solid lines. This might just hurt my eyes, but if you want to go a classic computer type game, what I mean is this particular game here is based on a computer game long ago, and they have lines for doors, that sort of thing here. If you like that look, go ahead, but rather than nice little NES graphics. So here, it tells you what your mission is here, and you can pause the game if you want to read it. So basically, that's your mission here. I'm looking for items and help me, and you need to collect certain keys, emblems, to pass certain doors in this game here, so you gotta be able to fight those magic objects and equip them. In this case, I equipped them on my fighter because once you do collect them all, you have like a minus 20 for armor class. The lower, the better. And the monsters this game, as mentioned before, are pretty much the same as the first one. The bad one I found is that the monsters, if you ever played the first Wizardry, there's the second to last 2 levels, they merge at level 6. So you got some enemies that take a lot of damage from you, but you don't get much XP or even gold. I always find that while I use the Mechando, or even what the spell is, it's a high level mage spell that pretty much kills enemies that have lower, I think 30 or 40 hit points, which I use on the poison giants. You don't barely fight them a lot here. You do have the Will-O-Wisp that gain a lot of XP, but you got those damn gold dragons and other monsters that just kills your party in one shot, and they don't give much XP for it. So I'm going to stop right now, and I'm going to advance the video. So this little segment here, I gain enough experience to advance the level. And you notice here I'm trying to get the best out of it. So if I don't like something, I could just load my save state. But if you're playing from a real cartridge, if you don't like it, just reset your console and just do it over. It's very vital, it gets a lot of hit points. And you don't want to drop anything that is not associated with your class or your character. So right now I'm trying to get some hit points for pain. I lost vitality, so I don't think I want that. I want at least a couple. And IQ petty is not important unless you want to advance to a different class later on, like a Lord or a Samurai. Or even Ninja for that matter, but of course it depends on your alignment, because Lords can only be good. They're pretty much your average fighter that sometimes decapitates, but it does have some nice equipment if you can find it in a maze. Of course, Ninja always decapitates, but I don't think this version can equip anything except Shuriken. And Samurai, of course, well, they're just the best. I think they might be Gamp in this version, because I believe they can only wear leather. So what I do here before I level is, before I go back upstairs, if my healers got any healing spells, I heal them on my party members, so that way when they rest, they don't waste any magic points. You have to remember though, there is actually an age limit in this game here. You do age, I won't say a lot, but you do get items that causes your age and your party members to be young or could be old. Of course, if you get too old, you'll be much turn ash, and it can't be resurrected. So I do get some little bit spells in this game here. As I mentioned, you're not going to use all of them. A lot of them are actually quite useless. What I do pretty much later on is I do use protection spells, sometimes light spells, which I mentioned before. I do not use a lot, only to see. And I believe this identity spell, which identifies monsters that you fight. Again, not necessarily important if you know which monsters are in each level, but of course it's fun. And here we go on another chest. So what I'm doing right now basically is getting levels, so that way I can advance to the second level, because when you hit the second level of this game, you're going to meet monsters that like to poison you or paralyze you. And I don't believe my healing or clerical people can cast cures yet, so there's no point actually saving it. If you get poisoned, you probably better off just resetting, or just in this case load a state, so that way you won't get poisoned. Try again. The graphics aren't too bad, or a lack thereof. It's pretty much all checked. Nice spoiling box here. If the exploding box hit on, let's see, the 5th or 6th level, I'll probably much be dead or very close to it. Because it take a lot of. Oh yes, you do meet some good creatures in this game here. I'm not surprised you, of course. What I mean is, sometimes you meet some good undead kobolds. There's a chance, if you have a good character in your party, if you fight the good, they might turn evil. And good does not like evil. Evil is not good, so they can still be in your party if they turn alignment. But if you go back to headquarters, back to the castle, they will not team up again. So you probably have to be very careful. But there is some items in game here, as mentioned before, that are alignment with good, neutral, and evil. There is evil items, and they do have some nice equipment. But of course, if you want to make an evil party, you have to keep fighting the good monsters game here. So of course, if you like the killing spree like Punisher, go right ahead. And just going back up here. Basically, I'm just checking a few things over. Now I just need a few more experience to get my characters up. Okay, I'm just going to stop the video here, and I'm going to advance the plot. And as you can see here, there's actually a square in the first floor where you can fight these familiar Murphy's Ghost. They do give excellent XP in this part of the game. That's if you can hit them. They somewhat hit hard for my levels. But like in the first Wizardry game, they always appear in the box. So if you escape out and come back in, they always appear. But it does look like my characters are weak, even though he's asleep. To hit him yet, so all I do is I have to come back later where I'm more equipped and more advanced in levels, so that way I can be able to hit him at least once, because he might destroy my party, and he might be asleep, but I look like he'll still be hit him. So I'm just going to advance the video again. Hold on. Alright, so about a few hours passed. I'm actually at the second level. My characters actually went up a couple levels. Not really pretty much new equipment to tell about or worth bragging about. And we meet some frogs. They actually like to breathe, and I don't like breathing party at this particular junction, so I'm just going to load the state here. The reason I do that because, well, my mages, they have extremely low hit points, and a couple of whacks from the breathing from any monster at this point in time will pretty much kill me. And death is not something at this point in time you want to have. So, okay, so look at the street doors I have to choose, if I can choose them. So not only should mention about the second level, there is warps, and you need warps to pretty much go through level 2 here. And yeah, another thing to point out, as I mentioned earlier when I was talking about, is that there's enemies in this particular level 2. They like to put status ailments on you, not just poison, paralyzed. I think there's also petrified, which I can't cure at all. You have to go to a temple chant to cure that, and it actually costs money. Money makes the world go round. So right now, if you're familiar, I hate to keep mentioning from the first Wizardry game, but just like the first game, there are points. When you go through doors, there's monsters, random monsters. Once you defeat them, they drop chests, and this particular version, also like the Wizardry 1, it could be any type of item that is available on that floor, and upgrades are essential to this game here, because certain weapons actually give extra swing hits, which actually cause more damage. And we fight dragonflies. I know exactly who they are because they like to breathe. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try... No, that's not good. That's going to kill my mage down there. I don't have much healing spells left on my cleric. So this particular segment, I'm just going to explore around, just get the feel. And we got strange animals. I know exactly who they are. They're those, were-panthers. They don't breathe. They just hit kind of hard, but not too hard. So my cleric's down to 1 hit point, so that's just dinky. You probably know my AC is also low. Low is good in this game here. I actually got a little bit better money to be able to buy some plate mail for my fighters. I believe the highest, it's not body armor for the cleric. Ninjas, they like to captivate. We want to avoid them. So there's a few items in this level 2 that you need to get. So here I'm just not very too confident on my level so far. So this here I'm doing right now, if someone gets killed or using an ally party, you can use that function to find them, but you have to be in the vicinity, I believe. Not quite sure about that, but that's how it works. And remember, evil characters cannot join good, and good cannot join evil. And when you're making a party, you don't need all 16 but 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But having a full party does make the adventure more better. There's no NPCs you can find that join your party, but there's NPCs you can talk to. They won't kill you yet. And we don't fight any frogs because breathe is bad. And some of those breathe can get quite nasty. It could be small, it could be big, and to let you know too as well, those familiar enemies, the creeping coins, do make appearance in this game. As we know, they do breathe, but they breathe no damage. There's also these fuzzy things that do breathe, but they give lousy XP. unless you're going for the treasure box. So now I'm going to stop the video again and advance. Oh, man at arms, I remember them. And no, pay dispatch. So yeah, let's start the video. So here right now, I'm just going to show you the items that I found. Level 2. Anyway, flail is kind of junk. Dagger's junk. Major pounding is not junk. That's actually better than a mace, and it's also better than I think the longsword. I can't remember. Yeah, I believe it is. I believe it does give an extra hit on it. I remember when I first played Wizardry 1, Major pounding sucked the big one. And let you know about the dagger. There's also dagger speed and dagger slicing, which pretty much suck. But there's also a special dagger transfer to ninja. And we'll also be leveling. Even though I'm using, he's not jumping in like 10 or 12 levels, I'm using the load state so that way I can get the best hit points. And yeah, 3 will do. And 6 is great. And new spells is always handy. It's not bad, but agility, Agility in this game are pretty much who acts first, and you want to have high agility when facing certain monsters. Oh yeah, IQ is for magic points. The cleric uses petty, and strength, of course, is your attack. Luck is pretty much everything. I believe thieves need your luck. I think that's it. I think I mentioned vitality at 48 points. Not gonna get a lot for my mage. And that's actually pretty good. That's actually pretty good. Yeah. Alright, so that's how the leveling system works, and that's how to identify items. So let's go ahead and advance the video. Okie dokie, so right now my level should be sort of well enough to take on Murphy's Ghost. And you notice there I got a lot of XP, and the gold is not too shabby. And we keep going back and forth between the sub-screen and this screen, you'll be fighting them over and over and over. When I fought Murphy's Ghost, I pretty much stayed for a while for about fewer levels. Then I noticed my level up XP was getting much too high for staying there for about a few hours. So I'll be staying a little bit, get a few levels, and we'll wave along. It's time to go ahead to the future. Alright, so what you're seeing in front of you, I didn't though, but some of the internet did, is actually the first level of this game here. Now you probably noticed is that some of the key features. So the W2E2 is your teleports. The M is of course your event where someone wants to talk to you. But what I'm hitting is pretty much the right hand side where you see this little green M and the W1, and that's actually a little mid boss here, an important item which I need to get further in the game. So let's do this. Alright, so I'm a door away for defeating the mid boss. He's called the Kobold King, and I'm very confident in my abilities to be able to kill him. Okay, then of course my sleep spell. I can actually do double damage once he sleep, or 2.5 damage, and he's dead. The badge. And I gotta make sure I don't equip the badge because it's cursed, so let's go ahead. Oh, I mirror these enemies. Let's not fight them. Thank you. So now I have the badge from the kobold. I'm going to visit this particular orc down the hallway, and you can tell a special event if there's something on the floor there. Now do search, yeah, another important item that allows me to pass a certain section of the game. So I'm just going to identify some items there. I believe the emblem might be cursed. I believe you can equip it. Just checking my inventory here, just make sure I'm not missing anything. Not very important items to identify. I think it's just for selling anyway. Meal is just a temporary light spell. I like to see where I'm going. So again, the wave of my fingers and the swing of my hand. It's time to advance the video. And the sword slicing is actually an upgrade to my equipment. And if everybody remembers, that's actually from the first game with the sword of slicing and the sword of slashing. Goodbye, longsword. Hello, power up. So now with the item I picked up, I'm able to pass the darkness and try to go after the armor. In this case, the imminent object if it's not identified. But I got the sneaking suspicion that he's going to sorely kick my ass because he's magic resistant. And what's it? 5. I'm hitting for beans, despite that sword slicing. Yeah, he's not hitting too bad. Just kind of a little shock there. And the attack spell didn't do too much to it. I forget how much. I think he has 200 hit points. But you do get seriously a lot of XP for defeating these magic items. So this is actually the first one of many. There's the armor, the shields, the helmet, the gauntlets, and of course the sword. At least Payne gets to get some hits in. Quite shocked, I'm actually doing quite well. Well, yeah, I got some 4 hits into it. I got 3 hits. This might, I think I'm actually able to defeat it. If I do, I'll get 1 serious armor class. My ACs can go way down. Not bad graphic for the armor for Nintendo anyway. And of course, that's one of the reasons I level up. There's no way level 2 or 3 can actually tackle this guy. Plus, you need to go around level 2 of the dungeon to go back up to level 1 to defeat this guy. And you might see a speed run where this guy or the spot defeats him like a couple seconds. If you're doing a casual one, that's definitely not the case. And it looks like he wants to go after my cleric. And when you're defeating these guys, you pretty much don't want anybody to die because you'll be losing a lot of XP. I think the armor will probably be the one of the last items to fight you, but that's not the case. The game wants you to fight the first. And I got the magic armor. See, you got 5,555, and my mage got the plate armor, which I think is Cody or Coda. So what I'm gonna have to do now, I need to go back and get healed. That pretty much exhausted my heals. Oh, I gotta fight the dragonflies. Nope, don't want them. I don't got no Tiawatt spell to deal with them. Tiawatt is pretty much your meteor spell from Final Fantasy. Deals insane damage. So that's one part of the magic items I got, and many more to go. And let's advance the plot. Alright. So this is the 3rd level I'll be going next here. It has some very important items for equipment wise. The important aspect is actually the middle. That's where I have to fight an inanimate object later on. There's a lot of shoots, at least level 4, which I don't want to go down yet. And there's also some very interesting enemies in here that I really don't want to fight at this point in time, because I'm not very comfortable with my party as of yet. What I'll try to do is try to fight some weak enemies, and oh my god. Okay, weird lines, they actually poison. They don't hit you that hard, but you don't want that poison, not just yet. I want to save my magic points from my cleric to heal. And I remember the cleric, and of course we fought the were panthers before, and stray animals, who knows what they are, and I actually don't care so long as they are bloody to death in front of me, right on the dungeon floor. As I mentioned before, there are chutes, and there's actually one, I believe, inside the first Wizardry game. They take you down a level, and the next floor below is pretty much darkness. And unless you know a good mapper, you don't want to go down there as of yet, or find an item there, which I don't like. So let's try again. Yeah, clothing. That's probably robes. And robes suck, they only give like 1 AC. So basically I'm just going around the doors here, try to fight monsters. They're hopefully not too tough, and do some serious upgrades for my party. And I believe there's stairs down. That's actually a chute there, which I'm going to try to avoid. And I don't believe, as our actually not work, yeah. That's very fun of them. So I mentioned before, there's no spells to levitate to actually bypass the pit. You have to go around it, and it's only a few steps, so it's no big deal. So, time to fence the plot. It's also worth noting all this little man. I forgot to mention earlier, that armor that I picked up, I actually gave it to my first fighter. And you notice that little plus by the side? That's actually a life regen. And apparently not good. Remind me of life regen is that for every step that you take in the dungeon, you gain 1 extra hit point. And it's always beneficial that you give it to the player who has the most hit points, and that way you can cut costs on the healing. And I do have a cure paralyzed spell. Good to know. But I don't want the entire party to be paralyzed. And much surprise you, these slimes, yeah, get out here and leave me alone. Alright, after some time trying to figure the map out, I'm going to the next section of level 2, and I meet this guy here that I do have a specific item to exchange, and I definitely do want that. And it's a Kira Cloister, which is necessary. So in a nutshell, these keys are very important. You get what's called the master key later on, which is again necessary to pass a certain section of the dungeon. And the fuzzballs, they give very little XP and very little gold. In terms of chest, I found some armor. We'll see what that armor is. Ah, just kidding, I'm not going to show you armor, blah 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 blah. Yeah. I don't have any multi-hit spells as of yet, or if I... Yeah, I'm not going to waste on them. I do have, I think, Dato and Lahato, but I'll just save them in case I really need them. So you notice I'm gaining some levels now from the last section of the video. And just gold. Alright, time to advance. So will you look at that, creeping coins. However, this monkeys actually got some quite a bit of HP, and they do breathe on you. But it's a definitely big experience, so top of them, and lucky for me. Alright, so I think I should be good for the next animated object. This is actually the shield. And let's see how that goes, because the armor wasn't that bad. And I believe they're also much resistant. Sweet Lord Justice. 3 hits for 54 damage on my cleric, so this does not look too promising. I actually may need to level up. I'm gonna keep trying for a bit. This time. It's probably best if I attack first. Get some good hits in. That's not a bad graphic for a magic shield. Personally, I love shields that don't attack me. Thank you very much. Alright, let's do this. So I went down much farther down the floor. It's got much better equipment. It took some time. Now let's see, I can kick the shield's missing ass. So I got a lot of spells here. Mantelado is attack multi-spell. I don't believe the shield got a much hit points there. It does have a lot. Ouch. And I'll show you my equipment later on during the video here. So I can't give the magic shield a heart attack, so that's really too bad. Because of course he's magic 4, these items are magic resistant highly. And good thought is that there is actually items in the game it actually makes you highly magic resistant. Guys, my light spell. I believe Batama 2 either increases temporary your armor or oh good. So light shield is gone, and I get the wipe experience for the taking. And as soon as I defeated them, apparently these men don't like that I defeated the magic shield. So screw them. They're gonna die. Oh yeah, there's a protect spell. That's the Lot of Fortimus, I believe. A permanent armor spell goes up a few points for all your characters until you leave the dungeon. And you know, so I got a Great Matron. So I'm just basically showing you quickly the items here. The Great Matron is unique for this game. It actually fills up your magic points before it breaks. And giving movement, shield support. Again, it took a very long time to get these items here. I'm on the 5th floor. Yes, I was at the 5th floor. No doors, just lots and lots of warping. So I got one of the best items in the game to play Kusinart. Hammer Hardiness, yeah, I'll know what that is. Ring movement, which becomes very important later on. Allows you to teleport anywhere without getting hit by rock, otherwise it's game over for our newly age 14, 15-year-olds in this party. So that's 2 down for the equipment and a couple more to go, so let's continue. So yes, when I tell you about shoots, well, there's one particular shoot that you need to go to, and it's actually very important because you need the shoot which goes down the level, and you need to go after the master key for you. So this gives you the master key after you deliver the items to specific people in this game here. And I believe that's the last item that you need to pretty much clear the game. There is the master key. Strange enough, it looks like you can actually equip the master key. Not without payment. Yeah. It's time to get out here. Now, dark places, of course, in Wizardry. If there are any spells that eliminate light, they are gone, so you have to go ahead and blind it. The Wizardry one is pretty much notorious for that, because one particular dungeon, of course, like this particular dungeon, is pretty much all darkness. And constrictors, yeah, I believe they're vulnerable to sleep. I probably guess, yeah, dispatched, yeah, I think they've got about 30 or 35 hit points. They also poison, I recall. Let's check and see what else we got here. So, not the best items. Yeah, pretty much junk. Alright, let's. So now I got the important master key, and go ahead and go after the other magical artifact, and that is the sword. And there's the sword. Let's see if I'm able to take him this time around. I can't give the sword a heart attack, and wouldn't that be funny? 20. That's insane. Wow, he didn't have much hit points. And there's the broadsword, and that's the... It's not called Cold Sword, it's actually some kind of weird name. But it's actually one of the best items in the game here, or at least weapon-wise. Gives a lot of hits. And you don't have a clue. It's the Herathanar. Some kind of queer name anyway. He knows my stats and IQ and pity is 20, the max. Look at that. AC minus 14. That is just insane. Alright, now the sword's out of the way. And alright, let's go ahead and continue. Actually, I'm actually quite near to the helmet. Oh, did he just one-shot my fighter? That's a cool looking helmet though. Without a helmet will pretty much kill your party member. I will wear you and suffocate you. Pain, Batamu, Katanu. I actually have some decent equipment on Otiliwa. Yeah, that pretty much killed me, so there's no point, so once the Tiamat spell gets to your party, you must well say forget it. Let's just load state that thing. And I do apologize, I'm talking a lot. This is probably one of those rare videos that I do talk a lot, but this particular game here, well, you might as well talk. Talk. Yeah, no, that's not happening. If you notice here, my highest hit point is around 32 hit points, so I'll be dead with a multi-hit spell. Of course, everybody's dead. I could go back and raise them, but I don't want to take any chance. And then plus they lost all the experience, so I probably want at least a couple more people be alive after the event. But it looks like in order for me to defeat this particular helmet on my levels, yeah, I have to be the first to attack. We'll see how this goes. I may survive that. Lorto is pretty much a very low clerical spell. No, that's not low. Fluffy things. And fluffy things are now bloody things. And we just parry here. I might consider to raise my defense, but this particular helmet likes to cast a lot, so I don't think that makes much difference anyway. Yeah, no, not happening. Dead. But I believe I'm confident I'll be able to kill this inanimate object. Ooh, that's quite a bit, then I'm gonna die. Well, at least one of them's gonna die. Yeah, actually I can live with that. 17,000 experience, I get a very nice helmet. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually go back to the castle and raise my mage, and hopefully he won't turn edge. Hold on. Phew! Look, my mage has been saved by the chanting of the church. And still got those robes, yay! So yeah, I was pretty much very lucky going after the helmet and only one person died. I guess you probably have to be a few more levels and to go after them fairly. Unless my other fighters got some major critical hits on it. So you notice there I'm level 10, at least for my cleric. I haven't got all the spells yet, but there's one particular spell that I'm going to try to get. It's called Madi, that's spelled M-A-D-I. It cures all your HP from one person. Very useful, especially on the first game. So I'm just pretty much healing everybody, and I'm going to go back and go to Vengeance End and rest at the cozy, cheap, well I say cheap, don't cost nothing, inn. So now, I'm going to advance the video again. So here what you're seeing here is the 5th level, the last level. I'm going down by any means. There is no doors, lots of creatures, so yeah, that's not happening. Oh yes, I forgot. There's monsters in the game here that actually drain levels, including the vampires and of course the vampire lords and other, of course, the nifty little things there. And you don't want to be drained, not one bit. But since I believe right now I may be a little bit under leveled defeating this guy, so I'll try to defeat some weak creatures and hopefully the chests that they drop give me some very rare items. So I'm trying to go after this guy here. And hopefully I don't have to load state it. Whereabouts are okay-ish. They're not too bad, as long as they're asleep, of course. And poison's not good. Poison's never good. So also in this level here, there's one inanimate object I'm going to need to go against, and that's the gauntlets. I do say gauntlets because you're fighting two of them, and they're major spellcasters. And let's probably, oh yeah, there's a face I'm about to call off. Think about the gauntlets here, and also you need to go past them and get to the last level of the game, is that you need to cast a teleportation spell because there's a pit that you cannot pass by normal means. The game won't let you pass, and you need to teleport a space ahead of them to fight the gauntlets and then go down the stairs. Yeah, gotta love this game for you. It's also worth noting that I did not record in this video. This particular floor got some nifty little things. Not only there's some ouchies, which I mean by that is that there's some rocks that can hurt you, but there's a fountain, and the fountain you can drink. Actually, let's just say put some random anomalies onto you, like poison, petrification. You don't want to drink any of that because there's no benefits whatsoever in doing so. I believe that's on the right hand side of the dungeon, because this dungeon warps around from left to right and right to left. So yes, you need to, if you're mapping it, you need to keep track where you are, otherwise you'll get hopesy loss. So I'm going to advance the video to the gun. Alright, there's another important fact here. I'm using the ring movement to act as my teleporter because my mage does not have the spell yet. So this is the magic gauntlets here. Again, they're quite deadly. They like to cast Tilawat a lot. There we go, Tilawat. And that's pretty much our wipe. So you have to make sure when you do use the teleporting from the ring of movement. And by the way, it only acts once, which means that once you use it, it is gone. Acts as a normal helmet, which is the waist. Not much you can say about the gauntlets is that hopefully when you do attack them, you get rid of one of them. And you notice they pretty much clean my party lot. So save, there it is. So what happens if you go through the door, there's a pit there, but the game won't let you go past the pit, so you have to jump back. And each time you need to go to the level below, you have to use the teleporter. This is why you need the mage to know the teleporting spell, but of course my mage is so underleveled that it cannot use teleporter spell as of yet. So I got rid of one of them, and I got rid of both of them. Alright, let's go ahead and continue. And look at that, the blue screen of death. That's not good. So here we are at the last level of the game here. Now normally once you get down to this place, just around the corner is where you need to talk to the puzzler. So basically in a nutshell, you need to be by yourself. Oh, look at all those enemies there. Just luscious enemies here. Just want to fight them and just hug them and squeeze them. Yeah. What I mean to say before is that in order to complete this game here, you need all the items, of course, and my first character does have them all. However, the other little tricky sense of this game is that you need to go down there by yourself. You can't have your party, otherwise you'll be kicked out of the floor, or in this case the dungeon, and back to headquarters. So you need to use, or have somebody use, look at that, just look at that. Ugh. So I mean to say basically is that you need to go down here by yourself, either by the fighter or use the mage that has the mailer spell to teleport so that we can avoid all the enemies, and not only that to pretty much avoid the pit. And you need to talk to the puzzler and we'll grant you permission to pass and pretty much in a nutshell get teleported and complete the game. So once you defeat the gauntlets, there's actually no challenge unless you want to go around this level, defeat enemies, get better items, but honestly, you probably noticed there's actually some time difference between the last segment video that you just shown there. Basically, I have what's called the Ring of Healing, and you actually get that in the first game. Of course, what it does is, well, heals you. Or if you want to use this item, I think it does like a Maddie spell, and then it's gone. So yeah, honestly, once you defeat the gauntlets, there's nothing else that's pretty much challenge you, unless you want to figure out how to complete the game. So you notice there I got kicked. I used a spell, which allows me to go back to the beginning headquarters, but I lose all my items. So yeah, that's pretty much all or nothing spell. Don't use it, otherwise you'll be just crying to your mom. So I did get some unusual items that was down here, but I'll just show you at the end game here. So I'm just going to jump extremely forward and show you where you need to be. So you can see here, I jumped ahead. I am by myself with my first character. He has all the COD items, including the sword. I also have the ring movement, which allows me to teleport. I'm not going to bring my mage because, well, it's my mage doesn't have much hit points. Just in case I get into a fight, and just in case I'm not able to survive one hit. So I obviously run the master key just in case anyway. Not important. So I'm pretty much going to do is I'm probably doing this wrong, I believe. There we go. So I'm in. Actually, done right. So now I can actually go to the puzzle room, which is right next to the beginning, and it's just straight ahead. So it allows me to puzzle. There we go. Improve yourself this day. So that's her. But to complete the legend, legendary knight, and presence, and blah blah blah. Shall we claim the artifacts? And also with you, present you with a gift. Behold, the staff of Ganaida. So that's actually a pretty good weapon, but of course we're not going to equip it. But Lord behold, the game is not done yet. And you're going, why? Because you need to deliver the item back to headquarters, and the game will truly be over. No passwords. It's too bad. And what I mean by that basically is that there's no passwords that allows you to continue to the third game, which is of course translated but not endorsed. But who cares? So as you've seen there, my ring movement went back to a normal helm, and he lost all his items. You probably noticed he took away the important items, and now he's just naked in the dungeon, streaking in the dungeon. And try to find me upstairs. There we go. And you get this wonderful little screen here. The Mark of Ganida. You get 150,000 experience. And basically telling you, choose your people who are endorsed you to get the items. So I'm going to, make a knight. No biggie. Just to prove you. He knows I'm only level 12. We're in level 11. And that is indeed the ending of the game here. So you get these wonderful little credits. After the credits, I will show you the equipment that I defeated while playing the game here. So the game itself, it took me a long time. I say it probably took me probably about 16-18 hours. Without the maps, it probably would take me a lot longer. Again, I don't usually talk a lot, but in this game, I'm not talking about other games, but of course, I need to eat up a lot of time. And we get these wonderful people you probably not going to hear before your entire life. There is Nohiro Saka, it, and there's Nobuyuki Onoji. And that is a complete 100% of the game. So I actually got a few levels. You can actually continue on, get XP, go back down to the 6th level, get some better items, but there's really no point whatsoever, no challenge. I say no challenge, there's no secret bosses or secret dungeons, so I'm just going to show you the equipment that I bet. Though I didn't have nothing, so let me show you the others. Oh yeah, I got a scalper from the last level there. Very handy. And Staff of Light, very cool. And the Metamorph Ring allows you to transform to a Lord. And no big difference there. And again, no big difference there. So that's pretty much it of the game here. I mean, after you defeat them, there's no point unless you want to make a new party or level up to 100. And I made him a Lord. Why not? So that's it. That's it. Wizardry. If you're staying up here this entire time, thank you for watching. And I'll see you next time. Maybe we'll do another Wizardry game. We'll see. With a lot of editing. Many, many hours of editing. Hope you enjoy.